Hello everyone for today's Blitz Summer Tourney tournament stream. Gonna be some longer games today. I'm looking forward to these. We have our top 4. And yeah. Stream is gonna start a bit delayed. Unfortunately, I was not able to change that. OBS being kinda a dick right now. Hope this fixes itself though. And yeah, yes, let's start with the table. And it's currently looking like this. We haven't played any games, of course. And everyone is streaming the same games today, so you can choose whoever you like commentating most and go and watch there. You're not gonna miss anything. We have on the first game EG versus Legion, which will be very interesting, and then R-2-K versus Raid later. This is how you call it again? Double elimination knockout, it says it there. So if you lose once, you're not out automatically. So both losers will play again in the losers bracket in the next day. And then we have a winner of that, and whoever loses again will then go to the will be out. So whoever loses in game 3 and 5 will be out in and of itself, and then it's just a normal tournament basically. So yeah, looking forward to this. And yeah, this is basically all we can say to that. Let's just go into the game so far, and maybe the room is already open. It is. There we go. Let's already switch to the right scene. We'll have EG versus Legion for the first match. It's gonna be a best of 9 today, meaning we have 5 maps to play. We have our first map, Port Bay, then Vineyards, Mayan Ruins, Alpenstadt, and if we need it as a tiebreaker, Black Goldville. And yeah, today as Satan has birthday, congratulations to you, my friend. Jack or Wild One's Helper will stream on his channel and do a solo commentary, so maybe give him some luck. Or wish him some luck, I guess. Looking forward to this tournament. And hope that everything is gonna go well. Hope that the stream is gonna start on time, or it has already. I check if it has actually, just to be sure. And we have a lot of people in the room right now. And it seems everything is working as intended, so that is great. And yeah. Let's just jump straight into it, okay? And let me minimize this and move it over here, so that I also have the chat open. Once again, not going to be able to talk too much to you guys in chat, as I'm going to be focusing on these games. But of course, if there's a question and I have time, I will answer it. So I will have an eye on the chat, of course, as usual. And hello to everyone in the chat right now. Let's just say shout out to Yusuf, Mr. Big, Lopenny, Razor, Vlad is here as well, Asia, Dark, Biscuit, Zupan, and Senko. And yeah, looking forward to this match. And once again, same rules apply. No. Come on. No premiums, no collectors, and no Sheridans. So all tech trees. And we nearly got all of our lineups here. And Port Bay is an interesting map in and of itself. Played quite differently now, as the meta has changed, with mainly heavy tanks. Check if Discord is alright. It's already. And let the games begin. I'm starting to see our loadouts here. A lot of heavies as usual, as they got their hit point buff. There's definitely good reason to take these. Here we have Orca, 7th man of endgame here. Hello there, David. And we have a Sheridan here that's definitely not going to be played. But we have, of course, Object, and there's Object back again, as usual. See a mouse here? Some IS-4s again. A lot of them on Legion's side here, actually. And we're just basically now waiting to be readied up. And of course, for the lineups to be finished. Both teams here, of course, still gonna be seeing. We haven't seen them play each other in this specific tournament. Of course, we have seen them in the professionals, where Legion straight up beat endgame. So looking at the past, Legion here, of course, favors. But as a commentator, I'm of course hoping for a tiebreaker as usual, to make the games also more interesting. We have our first tanks ready here from endgame. Double IS-4 113 and a mouse. See a 268 here from Orca. And Karolek probably going with his Vickers again, and we see Shoko with his 215B. A tank you not see all too often anymore in these T10 tournaments. So I'm looking forward to it by a good margin. How this tank is going to be utilized best. Seeing some tank changes here still from Legion. Seemingly they are not able to decide what player to take. But that can happen. We don't mind, of course, we're not in a hurry. And we see our first tanks ready now on the side of Legion. Double E5 here. We have Object in his 268, that was pretty much to be expected. He's a god with that tank. We have Uni in his IS-4. And then, is that Honor? It is Honor indeed. Also playing here in his IS-4. Skin and Snack not readied up yet either. You can't see it, but he's asking to insult Whoopsie. But of course, no insults are allowed in this tournament. We want to keep it all nice and friendly. And we're waiting for 3 players to ready up. Hope it's not gonna take too much longer here. We see some tanks ready now. And I'm ready again. Yep, some 140s here. We now have a Vickers from Skin. Eggy there changing to an E100, and our lineup is ready for both teams. And let's go over it again once we are on the loading screen, shall we? And to go over the lineups once again, we have endgame here with their SV215B double eyes for a mouse, a 268 here from Orca, a Vickers light, and Spessy in his 113. And then we have, nope, we want to go up. For Legion, an E100 from Iggy, double eyes for a 140 from Snack, a 268, an E5, and a Vickers light. And we see a small amount of splitting here from endgame already. We see Spessy here moving in a very strong position, hard to dig out, and you need to pretty much commit with 1 or 2 tanks to kill that, especially when he has fire support. Object there already pinging him up, probably saw something break. Romka here just to spot on C, no one in the corner. And we have a very defensive line from both teams. And here, endgame making the first move with Winch and Spessy onto A. They want to get that cap pressure going. Romka now has been spotted. And Winch here taking the first big shot from Object. And great shot there from player. Onto Spessy, resetting the cap entirely. They are able to just manage to cap it. Uni now coming in as well. And Winch and Spessy have to relocate. Uni there taking a shot from Karolek. But also Spessy now taking another one, and so is Winch. That mouse not quick with retreating. Hit points are still quite similar. Nice shot and awareness there from Romka into Honor. And Nikolai here now moving into the city as well. Spessy taking another shot. Has to be cautious with what he's doing, and Skin here pushing up very aggressively. Nearly able to put one shot into Romka if he pushes in just a little bit further. And Snake here now very aggressive. Romka in a lot of trouble. He's getting focused here now by 3 tanks. And he's not gonna survive for all too long here. And we need to see a move from endgame here. Otherwise Romka there just burning right now. Not able to do anything whatsoever. Snack there taking a shot finally. But Romka is going down to Uni. Some good crossfire here from Legion. Picking up that ice for who was all on his own. Push here coming from endgame. With their FV, their 268, and Nicolad in their eyes for player taking another one. Push now coming in from Legion here. Onto A with Uni and player. Winch here holding that back as much as he can. But he will not last for long. Spessy here trying to back him up, but he's not panning his shots. Push here now onto Honor. Snack here pretty much pins it down. And Skin just holding back those 2 tanks here. Good shot there from Orca. Karolek now putting one more in. Honor is now out. But they have lost wins. Spessy there now very low. Eggy here now gonna fight against those 2 heavy tanks in the middle. And it's looking really good for Legion so far. They have a good amount of hit points lead. They have tank advantage here. Even if it's just 1. Yoko is gonna go down. And this game is not gonna go on for too much longer. As they are now entering B. And it's a 3-on-5 here. In favor of Legion. Orca there taking a big shot from Eggy. Object here coming in. And Nicola is out. And now just a cleanup here. Very strong starting performance from Legion, picking up Bronca. Trading him for pretty much nothing. And now Skin coming in. Orca and Karolek here just hold back so long by that Vickers and that 140. And then Legion just cleaning up from the back whilst Game was trying to relocate. And this game is over. And now this game here going in favor of Legion. Very good starting performance there. Romka just caught out of position entirely. Not showing the best of his abilities. Has been just straight up punished for his joke earlier of wanting to insult Whoopsie. And that not going well for Legion apparently. As Romka was just focused and cleared early. And we see some interesting tanks here. From endgame. We see Karolek back in his endgame. Sure. In his Vickers Light. We see triple IS-4 action. We see Spessy back in the 113. Vinci in the VKK. Some tank you don't see too often, but it can work out really nicely. And then Orca in the Leopard 1 here. And then we have Legion looking to pick up double TDs here with player in an E3 and object in a 268. Could work out really well. Especially on Port Bay with a lot of good angles. And in general just some really good positions, especially for that E3 now with that speed boost, really powerful. Looking forward to the following match here. As we see double IS-4, 268 and E3, double E5 and also a Vickers Light from Legion. Already 1000 hit points in favor of endgame because of that double TD. Was not really giving too many hit points. And that does show in the hit point pool. Already from the start, we see both Vickers Light here making their way towards the open ground. Skin here very passively, and so is Karolek. And both teams here going towards the city, and endgame here very aggressively onto B. Might get away with it, but they also could get punished. Choco here spotted with Romka. Uni there. Able to put a nice opening shot in honor now. Bouncing, but here comes player. Might be able to put one into Nicola. They're blocking each other here. Oh, but Uni takes a lot. Oh, and here comes some more damage into these IS-4s. This was not worth the trade. Skin there taking a shot. Nicola here. Is he gonna get away? He does. A lot of hit points dropped here for both teams. Mostly these IS-4s here. Winch now coming in onto C. Very slowly, of course. That Leopard there in a great sniping position. Choco there gets tracked. Here comes Winch, not able to do damage onto Snack. Is able to cap C without any issue. Karolek there has to be very careful. Vickers on Vickers action. He is one shot in the lead. But it might really quickly change. Rumkan here now spotted. And Winch here pushing in, but object and player are gonna be able to support. And those two heavy tanks are not gonna live for long. This is a 5-on-3 action here. A 5-on-4 Orca now coming in. Snake here taking some damage. But Karolek also dropping some hit points here. Snake now getting focused by those two tanks over here. Is not gonna last all too long. Karolek able to pick him up. Uni here taking a lot of damage. Hit points in favor of Legion here, but only slightly. And Uni now holding back those tanks. Karolek not able to penetrate. Here comes Chocolat in from the side. Object there taking a good chunk of damage. And player and Chocolat not able to trade. Winch here looking to put in another shot. Snack there! Takes 1000, gets ram killed to death by Winch there. Gives him a little love tap. Spessy here putting one into honor. And Nicolad into object. Hit points very equal. Gun advantage here for endgame. Now double gun advantage for endgame. Eggy here getting focused next. And Legion here in a crossfire. They have two tanks here from endgame. Two in the middle and two in the corner. They have to push in somewhere. Orca here taken out. But Eggy falls for it. Karolek here supporting onto honor. And this game is going into endgame saver. Really nice turnaround. Good starting push from Legion, but endgame here with the very quick reactions. Instantly sending in everything they had. And winning this flank. in a very dominant manner. Object there. With his little max roll, not gonna be able to do too much more. And endgame here, picking up their own first victory. Let's actually have a look at the result screen here. Uni here living quite a long time, doing a solid amount of damage. Good damage spread here from endgame, all across the board. That Leopard one really working out nicely. And Egi and Ona there just getting focused very hard. And we already see the first map going in tide here on Boat Bay, and we switch right onto Vineyards. And this is the games I want to see. I am looking forward to that VKK really working out there for endgame. Even though they pushed in early with Romka and Winch, endgame there with the very quick rotations, you could even think that was a trap made by endgame. Sending in those two tanks, immediately sending that Leopard and every other tank they still had in the city, and just dropping it in. Really enjoyed that game. Very strong performance from endgame. Legion not able to recover all too much from that. And we are nearly done with already our first full lineup here. Only general not ready up yet for endgame. And we have from endgame here triple IS-4 action. Once again a 268 from Nikola this time. Double lights from Karolek and Oka, and general in an T110 E5. Vineyards here, definitely a map that is decided by the final push that is made by one's team. You often see a push beneath the bridge from a team starting in the north. You rarely see that from the south. Or pushes either through the ruins or the city, which can be approached from either side. And if you don't fully commit to your push, you are gonna fall. We have seen that quite often. And so I'm looking forward to see if any of those will happen today. We see double Leopard here from Legion. We see a T110 E3, double E5, and one IS-4 with skin back in his Vickers. So these Leopards here, the core of this lineup. With a lot of DPM, good mobility, and some great firepower behind these guns in general. Let's see how Legion is gonna be able to utilize that to the fullest extent. As we see them pushing straight through here, very aggressively, most likely going to that or this ridgeline here. We see an early push onto A from those Vickers. No cap yet on B. And we see Uni here very aggressively with Snack. Gets tracked out in the open. And Karolek, not Karolek, Nikola not able to connect this shot. Karolek there taking a lot of damage. Shoko now spotted out. But Snack taking a lot of damage for it. Not sure if that trade was worth it. Endgame was able to cap A. But they dropped a lot of hit points on Karolek. And a lot of their tanks are spotted out. Endgame here has Romka all on his own. Egi here pushing straight in together with Skin. Catch the Snack as well. And Object pushing onto Romka. He's not gonna last for long. Trying to hide and buy as much time as he still can. Chocolat here in support, of course. And Egi able to pick him up. Player here now taking some damage in his E5. And endgame has dropped a lot of hit points by now. Down by 2000 hit points. General, he gets focused. Not able to connect his shot either. And Winch now all on his own. Could get pushed by those Leopards here if Legion notices this. And endgame, not in a favorable position. Player now pushing onto Winch. Those two Leopards just waiting. And Orca now pushing into the ruins. Is gonna be a massive pain towards player here. But of course those two Leopards are there to support Uni there taking a shot from Nicola. And Winch pushing onto Snack here. He has the hit points to do so. Player taking another one. Hit points can still be turned around. Snack now out. Uni here will get focused. Chocolat has been pushed. And Legion there making the decision to push on the other flank. Uni is out. Player here not gonna be able to put another shot out. And now it's a 4-on-4. Hit points here in favor of Legion, and Winch there dropping some unfortunate hit points that they needed. Object here gonna be in a very nice position against them. From above can pen and ice for easily. And Skin now in A is gonna take that cap, whilst Orca is in B to steal that one. Nicola bouncing his shot. And Kadolek trying to give some fire support, not able to do so. Push now coming in from Legion. Winch here and Nicola are gonna fall for sure. And this game will go to Legion. Once again trading games here. First Legion winning, then Endgame taking back, and now it's Legion's turn again to win. Maxor here from Orca, not gonna be enough to win this game. Skin just hunting him down. Karolek here, still alive since the beginning with his nearly 200 hit points. Now the last one left alive. And he will die here. To Aggie. And we have another winner here. With some very strong pushes from either side. But Legion just able to put out more damage. Those Leopards not doing as much in the greater scheme of things, but if you look at the rest of Legion that survived till the end, huge amount of damage. 2k plus from 5 players is massive. And endgame on the lower end, not able to perform as well. Losing out on game number 3 here, giving Legion the lead. Once again, this is a best of 9. Meaning that the first to win 5 matches will be the winner of this. We have another double ice 4 here now from in-game. Gonna try to give an answer to Legion strategy here on Vineyards. You don't want to go down 2-0 on a map entirely, because that's not a good start, and that could snowball for the enemy. And EG here now taking an E5 and a 1-1-3 as well, with Shoko now in the 2-6-8, Winch in a 140, and Karolek back in his Vickers. Legion here not fully readied up just yet. Might see Dakota's now switched in. Legion here not quite has their 7th player ready. Yep. Dakota's will be switched in with his Leopard, so we might see another one. Though it doesn't seem to be a double Leopard action this time. Object back in this 2-6-8. We have Snack already in the Vickers ready. Not sure if we're gonna see double Vickers here this game. We have a double Vickers indeed, double E5 and 1 IS4. And this will be our final lineups for the last match for today on Vineyards. Legion here leading 2-1 against Endgame. Endgame here once again with a 1000 hit point lead, thanks to Legion's double Vickers. and that Leopard. And we do see the split here. We see Snack going for A. We see Karolek in B. Snack here actually not capping A. Rather than that object will take the job. LGN player here already spotted Karolek not able to fully cap B. Has taken the shot and is pushed out. And we see a push here from these E5s. With a very aggressive and really strong position. If you can hold it. Player here going very far. See those two tanks down there not able to shoot anything. Windshield taking C. And player now taking his first share of damage. Very good point lead so far for Legion here. About 30 points in the lead. 1 kill. I think can decide that to be turned around. Karolek there once again spotted in his Vickers. Nikolai here pretty much constantly spotted in the middle. And a very passive lineup here from endgame with Romka and General back there. Skin here slowly creeping forward. General now spotted. Has to be careful not to eat a shot. We do see Dakotas here supporting towards the city. And those heavies now spotted from endgame trying to get into the city. Snack there, great shot into General, but Skin here taking a shot. Getting out of there, and Karolek now in B. As Skin had to retreat, he pretty much can safely cap that. But Nikolai here now getting pushed from Legion. With Dakota's player Eggy and Catch pushing straight onto him. Shokora putting a big shot into Eggy. Not able to use his reactive armor in time. Nikolai here is gonna fall. He's not gonna stay alive for too much longer, but Eggy here is gonna get traded for it. Catch there, taking a shot from Shoko. Nikolai here still alive with 33 hit points. Object there has to come in, not able to connect the shot. Catch the one who has to pick up the kill. And Legion here dropping a lot of hit points for this one push. Dakota's now in a very strong position. Windshield taking more and more damage. And they are just not able to damage Shoko right there. Bouncing one shot after another. Dakota's here trading. Not the best thing he can do. C now getting taken back by Legion. And endgame's heavies here very passively. Nice HE there on to Catch. Romka here now pushing in. An object taking another one. Shoko here with a very strong start. Has done some great damage. Player here taking another one. About 2000 hit points now in the lead for endgame, but the points are ticking. Legion here with 2 caps are pressuring endgame. And General here taking some damage. Snack here now trying to steal B. But he gets punished for it. They just want to win by points now. Snack here in no danger. Pushing in. He's gonna get clapped. And might not be able to pick up. But Karolek here missing its shot. Very crucial. Orca here has to take him. And Romka now getting pummeled. Object here on a one shot is able to pick up Winch. And points are getting very close here. Endgame lost a lot of hit points for this. Chocola here able to pick up object. Romka now pushing in. General is in A. Caps might go into the lead of endgame here. Romka pushing onto Dakotas. They want that kill. They need to reset. Romka here trying, but it's not enough. They are able to pick up Shoko and end this game here. Very close game. Do not believe this was so close. A lot of point dropped here in the end by the end game. Not something they should have done whatsoever. Shoko here with a very impressive 4k damage. Also blocked quite a bit of shells here. 3 in total. But Legion there with the comeback. An unexpected one at that. And a very close game in general. I did enjoy that. But endgame losing in the end. Dropping too many hit points, and Legion takes this one. 2-0 here on Vineyards, and we are onto map number 3, which is Mayan runes or Mayan runes, whatever you prefer. And endgame here now in a very troublesome situation. I'm gonna go with double 50Bs here, pretty much an assassin double pack. Bashkim, yes, spectator for 9 streams this month or this week. Can expect a lot of tournaments. We might see a triple 50B here from endgame. Very risky lineup. Insanely risky. Also all kind of VKK. Endgame seemingly really like that tank a lot. We do see a Faust here from Object for the first time in this tournament, I believe. And in game they have to find an answer to this. I'm not gonna go with double 50B, but rather triple 50B. They're gonna go with an VKK here, double 50B. Might go with a double IS4 or not. And Counteract most likely once again gonna go with his Vickers. We see a mouse here from Nicola and Spessy, presumably in an either E5 or IS4. And Legion here so far readied up with a double E5 Object in the Faust, 1 Vickers, and an IS4 from Catch. We see triple E5 in fact from Legion. Might see a double Vickers as well. These are some very unique lineups here. Double Vickers, triple E5, 1 Faust, 1 IS4 for Legion, and double 50B, 1 IS4, a mouse, E5, VKK, and the Vickers for endgame, who are looking up to win this game here. If not, they are gonna be in a lot of trouble, as then Legion will be on match point. We see a very aggressive push here from these 2 Vickers to control the C area. They will get it uncontested. And a very passive approach from endgame with those 50Bs there, those Clippers. Can annihilate a single tank on their own if penetrating all their shots. Though after the heavy tank buff, that a little bit less likely, as a lot of heavies now have 2500 or more. Karolek there unspotted in A, but Romka here the first to take some damage from Eggy. And Spessy here holding a very interesting angle. A has been capped. Karolek is able to get away unspotted. And Romka here taking another shot. Has to be very careful. Catch here not able to connect. Skin there taking one. The position from Spessy working out as they wanted to. Object here is gonna be able to put a shot into Romka if he's not careful enough. And Snake here now taking a shot, taking 2 shots. Those 50Bs here coming in clutch. Snake out of the game already. Very quick assassination here from endgame. Now 3000 hit points in the lead, exactly. Very quick to pick that up with their 50Bs. And Nicola in his mouse here now, taking some damage. Romka taking some more damage. Not sure what he's doing here, but it's definitely not efficient. Eggy there putting more and more free damage into him. And OK here just waiting for his opportunity to strike. Points are looking very good so far for endgame. 1 kill might turn this around. Catch here now pushing on to be unspotted. Romka here taking more. He needs to be careful. He's just dropping unnecessary hit points. Skin here now very cocky against Spessy. And Orca resetting B, and so is Winch, and now Nicolad as well. They're not gonna let Catch here cap this unspotted, but they are gonna lose a lot of hit points for Nicola here, dropping some more hit points. Object, they are bouncing on its side. B has been capped, and here come the 50 Bs. Winch only 2 shots, takes a lot of damage though, and bouncing here on that IS-4. Now Nicola bouncing as well. And Catch will stay alive. Nicola here now down to a 1-shot. Endgame losing this game more and more. They had this in control, but they're just giving it away to Legion. Spetsy now pushing into B. Not even looking at Catch. Uni here now pushing straight in. And this is not looking all too good for endgame here. Uni there with a max roll now. They are gonna be able to pick up Catch. Orca not able to penetrate. Choco now out. Eggy here. Trading with Romka. And Karo like that with skin. Nicolas now out. Snack. Or Catch, in fact. Finally has been picked up after living for way too long. Hit points way in favor of Legion though. And so is the gun advantage here. Orca right in the middle of the map, not able to live for too long. A is gonna get camped, B will get taken here. And this game is gonna go to Legion. There's absolutely nothing that endgame will be able to do. Unidad just gonna stay at A and protect it. Daku does an object here now, gonna cap B. Winch now coming in. With his 50B, the goal of endgame here is A. Winch not actually going for that. Surprisingly. Cap points here, running low. Dakudas has been found out by Winch. But it's just too little, too late. And Legion win game number 5 for themselves, or number 4 if we talk about winning. And Daku does here with a very strong performance. And Catch the Snack here eating up way too many shots. 14 it took to kill him. Just not efficient here. Endgame having that in the back, catching out Snack very early on. But then just losing control of this game. More and more. And more. And it's not looking good for them. They have to win this next game. If they can't, this game will be over with the following one. And then we will see R-2-K versus Raid afterwards. Hello to everyone in the chat right now. In game there, they could have taken it, but they just let it drop out of their hand, and Legion there quick to take advantage of it. Just took themselves that victory right away. We are gonna see a spawn change now on Mayan runes. And end game now on their deathbed. They only have just one chance. If they lose it, it's over. It's a best of 9, so whoever wins this next game will be quite crucial. Legion here winning 3 in a row already. From a 1-1 to a 1-4 against endgame. Have now readied up with 2 50Bs, 2 E5s, 2 IS4s, and Karolek back in his Vickers. And Legion here not fully readied up just yet, but are looking to take a 268 here from Catch. And we do see Snack back in his Vickers. We see double E5 so far. One Ice 4 from Uni. Are we gonna see a second Vickers here once again, and might even see a third E5 from Mono. But once again, this game is crucial. And if Legion wins this is going into their hand. We do see double Vickers, and we might see double TD here from Legion once again. Honor here currently having a Faust ready up. That double 50B working out nicely at the start of the game. In the last match, let's see if it can work again. As we see Legion going with 2 tank destroyers here. And 2 Vickers, meaning they are down by 2,500 hit points from the start. Endgame here, have to take this. Karolek and Skin going straight into the middle. We see a very aggressive push from Legion onto A. And Skin here spotting out 3 tanks already. 6 tanks in fact. Very strong position. And he did that without taking any damage whatsoever. Agi though taking his first share of damage from Romka here. And A is getting capped. C now as well from endgame. But Legion here in a slight advantage. Nicola here has to be careful. He is pretty much on his own. Those 50Bs now relocated. Romka here in a very aggressive position. And endgame making their way forward. They want to win this game. And Legion here with some very good defensive positions. Those tank destroyers though, not too sure what they're doing. They push through here, they will get spotted by Spessy, who is overlooking this. But if they catch him off guard, he will pay the price. Those 50Bs now ready and waiting, very low so they don't get spotted early. They want Nicolas as the bait. Of course, as Legion is leading in cap points, endgame pressure to make a move. And Romka here dropping straight down onto B. Takes a great shot from Uni. And Catch here taking one off guard from Spessy. Honor they're able to put a free shot into Romka. Gets pummeled though. Nicola here now very aggressive. And if Catch is not careful, he is gonna get caught out by those 50Bs. Uni here now taking more damage. And endgame has established a nice HP lead here. Romka now has to drop down. And there comes the 50Bs. Here they come, and here comes endgame's push. But there's everything ready for them. Nicola here gets tracked out in the open, but are still alive. Those 50Bs now on an entire reload. Uni here taking a lot. Winch now is getting farmed, and the first to fall. Snack now completely able to eat that 50B alive. Skin is out though. And here comes everything that Legion has. Honor is out. Catch the Snack here is getting focused. Chocolat able to clip him. Is gonna die next though. And this game is gonna go to endgame. Very strong push. And very good focus fight here from both teams. As you can see, they still have full HPs left. Meaning that the focus fire was on point. Very good bait here from endgame. Working out once again. Those 50Bs working wonders. And that winch, oh no, it was Chocolat, was able to clip and catch the Snack was crucial in this game. What a beautiful result. This was just great. As you can see, the damage spread here from endgame. Very nice. Wind shear. Able to enter an entire clip. Of course, those 50B supposed to do more. They are there to do more. But it was enough. Beautiful game. From endgame here. Not gonna give this up just yet. And we are going to the next map here, which is Alpenstadt. And this is getting very, very interesting. Plasma, the way you do it is with Control and V. Is where you get the fly cam. Very strong comeback there from endgame. I do love those double 50Bs. That was a very, very nice game. I love that so much. Alpenstadt, of course, a map where if you get control over one part of the map and you can hold that and expand it further. Like, let's say you are in, like, you just look on a map and you have camps everywhere and you start to take over as you expand your territory. This is Alpenstadt. Get your territory, control it, and expand. And if you can do that on Alpenstadt, it's basically game over. Unless your enemy, of course, can fight against it and does so effectively, efficiently, and outplays you doing so. Of course, endgame still with their back on the wall here. Legion still on match point. And we nearly have our lineups ready to go. Legion here, the first one to fully readied up. Never mind. And we have a 268 here from Shoko. Orca and a 62A, a tank we haven't seen yet today. Also a tank we haven't seen yet is the STB from Snack, but often used on Alpenstadt. We see teams are unreadying up again. This makes it harder for me. But endgame here going with double E5, a 1 Vickers, 1 Ice 4, a Mouse, 268 and a 62A, and Legion deciding to go with double Ice 4, a 268 as well, an STB, double E5 and a Vickers Light. And this is getting very intense. We have a nearly equal amount of hit points on the board. Both teams here going for the part and the open area. We see a lot of speed boosts here. Orca has been spotted out early, and so did those heavies from endgame. Dakuda's here pushing straight for a Nikola. They're able to avoid any damage. Very fortunate this track caught most of it. Wind shear now. Gonna encounter Uni, and we have a cap from Kaudolek. I'm able to get that freely. Blind shot here from General missing. And Orca there in a 63 has to be careful not to overextend. And we do see a rotation here from Legion. Kaudolek spotting Skin, spotting Snack, spotting Uni and Eggy. And Winch now in B, very aggressive. Players now spotted as well. Dakudas has been seen. And endgame has seen the rotation here of endgame. Winch able to retreat without taking any damage. Harder on me, he takes one. General here now taking one from Catch the Snake. And Push here coming in from endgame onto Dakudas. And the timing might just be right. Orca here pushing through with Karolek. And are gonna go on to Catch the Snack and skin the Snack, who is getting focused hard here. Winch though taking more and more damage. He's just there to buy time. Bromka here getting pushed but ignored by those two heavies in the middle. And Nicola and General here pushing onto Skin, pushing onto Snack. Catch in fact. And they are gonna get those two tanks, but they have dropped a lot of hit points for this. Karolek not able to penetrate. General has to finish off the job. And the STB now taking some damage. Winch here gets picked up. Uni there very low. Avoids more damage. Chocolat now taking some damage. Not able to face off well when being faced with two tanks. Eggy here taking some. Karolek able to pick up Uni. But this game is gonna go to Legion. They have double the hit points. Even though they are behind in tanks. Hit points is what matters here, and endgame is not able to trade well. They are trying to get Eggy here. Karolek has been picked up. Orkai here getting focused now. And this game is over. Dakuda's here. Right in the middle of everyone. Romka getting focused hard. General able to drop down. Nicola here not able to stay alive against Snack, even with the reactive armor. And Legion with a very nice push in the end. Getting that map control. And then just expanding from that really nicely. And GG. Endgame here not able to answer anything. Dropping way too many hit points. They just lost so much at the start. It's unbelievable. And the STB here working out beautifully. 4K and 4 kills. Incredible job. And let's have a last look at the results. Which is a 5-on-2 for Legion. Let's actually switch to that. GG. And Legion here. Moving on to the next stage. Of course, endgame not out just yet. They still have a game to play. And if we just have a look at the banner here in the table. Endgame now dropping down to the losers bracket. Game number 3, which will be held on Wednesday. And Legion moving forward to game 4, which also will be on Wednesday. And we have a very, very good starting game here. Incredible performance from either teams. Legion though coming up on top and just doing it really nicely. I am so impressed. And this game was just beautiful, showcasing, or this matchup, how you can play certain maps, mind games as well, those baits with the 50Bs. It just worked out really nicely. And I'm happy to have been commentating on that. Really good lineup. Of course, we could see those matches again if endgame makes it through to the losers bracket until what could only be game 5 in case Legion loses, which is where they could meet earliest. Incredible matchup. I am left for words, basically. Just incredible. Those 50Bs on Mayan runes working nicely. The first map, Port Bay, going traded equally 1-to-1 for both teams. With strong performances in their winning games. Not sure. Let me just check what the other games were. We had Vineyards, which went easily to endgame. The second game though, which could have been end games, but dropping it really hard. And then of course Alpenstadt and Major Dunes, the last games that we did see. Some tough games, some really tough games. And now let me quickly already adjust the teams. Or the scenes in general, so that we have everything readied up for when the next games are going to be happening. We of course now have R-2-K versus Raid in front of us. And this is another matchup I'm looking for two by quite a big margin, where we're going to be starting off with Faust. And let's actually already switch to this, as there's not a lot else we can do today. And I think we're just gonna be waiting for these 4 minutes and the next game to start. Oops, I forgot the logos. Let me just fix that. If Endgame and Legion go away, we just quickly drink something and catch up on my voice. Alright, I'm back. Just had to quickly fill up, as the throat of course gets a bit dry when you speak a lot. And yeah, so just to maybe my bad, I just told Kuga to make R-2-K on the right when it's on the left. My bad. Hope we can get that adjusted. If not, I would have to switch around. But yeah, big catch up on what happened. Game 1 was I can't even remember now, poor day. Picking up Romka early, and then in game trying to push onto those two tanks, not able to do so efficiently. And then Legion with some very good crossfire, and in-game dropping hit points early, lost them the game. And then that's pretty much the same game but mirrored for endgame, with not dropping a tank early but pushing in with Winch and I believe it was Romka as well. On to see having Karolek and I believe Orca and their Leopard pushing in as well into the corner and having everyone else sent in, winning them the game as they baited in Legion, and with a very strong game. Vineyards, kind of the first game just straight up went into Legion's favor. Not sure what they could have done otherwise. So in game's perspective, game 2 they just straight up lost because of a lot of pointless hit point losses, I would say, and Legion just turning that back really nicely. game Mayan Ruins game 1 was pretty much the same. I'm trying to get, I believe it was Catch the Snack on B. Lost them like 2,000-3,000 hit points. Not really working out for them in the end, and then losing the game because of that missing hit points. But they did manage to catch out a Snack really early with their 50 Bs. And they even said that Legion themselves respect for that bait with Speci in a Z5, I think it was. And then the second game on Mayan Ruins with that great push from Legion, which turned out to be a big trap with Nicola there, I think, in his eyes for it was. And then that game on Alpenstadt where, I don't know, it felt like a Legion just straight up dominated again, getting map control really early on, really easily as well. And the focus fire just being better for them. Managed them to win the game 5-2. And now we're here. On R-2-K versus RA1D. R-2-K already readied up with their entire lineup. We do see triple ice 4. F in his Vickers, we see Mo in an FV215B, most likely going above the cap. A 140 here from Edgar, and Wonderkind in his 268. Looking forward to this. And then we are right here now, readying up with 2 Vickers already. With 2 E5s, might see a third. We also have 2 Ice 4s here, so it seems that they're going with a 3 tank strat. OG here, ex-Knice member. Demon, ex-Knice member, who's in the queue, you can't see him right now. And we do see triple Ice for double E5 and double Vickers for RA1D. And we are basically ready to go into game number 1 on Faust. With both teams going with triple Ice 4. Very interesting. But I would say the game or the lineup of R-2-K here just a little bit more flexible. With that TD medium and that light tank. And right here with Messi and JP going very aggressive onto ace spotting. But R-2-K doing the same with Edgar and F here, who spots out Messi and JP. No one taking any damage yet. Playmaker here spotted as well. And D capped already from R-2-K. OG here taking his first bit of damage. And Great pushing very aggressively onto B. Blaster here is gonna cap it. Zerd now facing off against Money Dude and OG. Taking some damage. Hit points here looking very good so far for RA1D. Still 1,000 hit points in the lead. A now capped as well, so they have the point pressure. Blaster getting away freely. And here Nico already sneaking up. Is gonna steal away B. What an aggression from R-2-K here. Dimebag now teamed up with Zerd. And RA1D already repositioning here. F there. Very careful. OG here gets pushed hard. Mo and Nico now pushing in from behind as well. OG not a lot he can do. Is gonna straight up die. Money Dude here is now gonna get focused next by 4 heavies. But Edgar here. It's absolutely wrecked by these 3 tanks. F he needs to get the hell out of there. Unless else he is gonna die. Wonderkind here in a very troublesome situation as well. Money Dude now out. And Blaster and Playmaker, the next ones to get focused. And a trade on trade is happening here. Both teams losing 2 tanks already. Hit points here still equal. Points though for R-2-K. And JP here getting focused together with Blaster. Wonderkind now taken care of by Messi. JP is out. Good pickup here from the 1-mo. And playmaker here, the next call to be. Mo here not gonna live for too much longer, trying to retreat with a speed boost away from Blaster. Zerd picking up playmaker and Blaster not able to penetrate. Dimebag there still alive against S1K. And Blaster here just barely surviving on 28 hit points. Nico here looking for the ram kill. Does no damage whatsoever. Is he gonna kill him? He's not able to finish him off and takes a shot for it as well. Takes a second one. And Blaster here getting away with it. S1K picking up Dimebag. And R-2-K might have just thrown this game away. Zerd here picking up Blaster finally. But is now unable to finish off S1K with his remaining hit points. And Messi and his Vickers still living. And will be crucial to raid here in case they do win this game. Messi here spotted. Pushed one. Great shot into Mo. Not able to high roll enough though to finish him off. S1K here. Picked up by Nico. Very good back support. And now it's just Messi left, but there's still a chance. Zerd here, a possible one-shot. Nico with a high roller one-shot. And a 1-mo as well. Messi here killing himself with HG. Not sure why you do that. R2K here very passive with their Ice Force. And Messi, is he looking to kill himself? I think he is. Does not want to die to R2K here. Really just wants to kill himself. I feel like that's a quite unsportive behavior. That's just my opinion. And Nico there to pick up the kill. Those Ice Force here with a lot of holes in front of them. Winning game number 1. And a very strong performance here. From R2K so far, Nico here and Zerd both doing 4,005 kills combined. Impressive work. Edgar though and F being picked up early. And then just the team play in the end. Managing to grant them the victory here. And a very, very close but solid victory here. From R2K. And we move straight into game number 2 here on Faust. R2K now leading. And are once again showing up with Mo in his 215B. The iceful combination of Nico and Zerd. Wonderkind in his 268. Dimebag in an E5 this time. And double Vickers from Edgar and F. And Raid here going with an FV. Double Ice for double Vickers and double 113. Very passive play here, but we see those FVs just mirroring each other's moves as you would expect them to do. That's usually the only position they ever take. Edgar here taking their first share of damage. JP here holding A as best as he can. Sorry, just gotta let my cat out of the room. Apologies for the interruption, as Raid here already pushing in onto C very aggressively with all of their heavy tanks and Messi here. Nico here, the first one to get focused. Has to be very careful. Is getting away for now, but is in a really dangerous position here. Blasted the first one to get focused. On the side of Raid, and Nico here dropping more and more hit points. And those two Vickers here fighting off against the two Vickers. from Raid. And the trade looking to go positively here for Raid. F is gonna get picked up here. Edgar not able to penetrate his shot. But on the heavy side here, Dimebag also already falling. This is looking good for Raid. Very strong push so far. Nico here getting picked up. OG is now out of the game. And Zerd here trying to block FOMO. And focus here now on Playmaker. And the kill here denied. Because of the bounce from Mo. He bounces again on money, dude. Zerd here now has to pick up the kill. And this game is gonna go to Raid with a very decisive push. Those Vickers Lights not able to come out on top for R-2-K. Wonderkind trying to block for Mo, but not succeeding. And it's just Zerd and the 268 left. Zerd here the first to fall. And now it's just Wonderkind against 4. But this game is not winnable for him anymore. Puts another shot into Money Dude. But this game is over with a clean from Messi. And we see already the first comeback here. With S1K with an impressive 4K damage here. Changing the score already. And we now hop onto the next map, which will be Rockfield. And a very strong push there from our from Raid. And R2K here, looking to get that game back, of course. Blaster probably gonna get switched in now. And we do have our first lineup here ready. Double 113. Double E5, 1 IS4 from Zerd, Wonderkind back in his 268, and F in a Vickers. And we see a Raid here going with a 1-2-1. Interestingly enough, from JP. You don't see that tank all too often. And a lot of WZs here. They do want to go with DPM, and DPM those things have. But it seems they are changing back around and are going with 2 113s, 2 E5s, an IS4, a Vickers, and a... Never mind. Let's go over it once again. We have an IS4 here from Raid, an E5, a Vickers, triple 113, and a 121. And we have an IS4, 268, double E5, 1 Vickers, and double 113. From R2K, hit points here very equal. F and Messi going with some pretty standard opening moves here. Oh, and the 2 Vickers here spotting themselves. F here not looking too good after taking that shot, has to retreat, and Messi is gonna get that cap pretty easily. Zerd though very aggressively pushing onto B. He's gonna face off against Money Dude, trading shots here. Zerd so far coming out on top. And they have a pretty much all for themselves. Dimebag here now entering A. And Raid is relocating here with their 113s, S1K, Blaster, and OG. So far looking to turn around here. And we have some tanks spotted here for R2K already, and some hit point losses. Nico here very aggressive, and as well as Mo, he has to be careful not to get focused out first. F here doing the spotting for the back end of R2K. And those 1-1-3s here just waiting for their time. Some blind shots here still happening. Playmaker with a very defensive position. So is Messi here just to spot. And he is gonna spot any movement that is coming from exactly this angle, which R-2-K is gonna take here. Those E5s and the Vickers are gonna get spotted. Oh, Messi here, you don't want to retreat in such a moment. Edgar here taking a shot. But he hasn't seen Nico, now he has. F though, entirely unspotted. Playmaker here already repositioned. Money Dude now facing off against Zerd, who's once again in B. Oh, and here we have 3 1-1-3s versus 2. And Raid here finally deciding to push in. Mo here the first one to get focused. Messi pushing in onto Zerd. And so far here, good control for Raid. And R-2-K just bleeding on all flanks. Zerd here and Nico not looking too good. Money Dude getting focused here. Mo is out, Dimeback pushing straight onto Money Dude. But here come 5 tanks from Raid. Zerd now out. Nico getting focused. And that goes Dimeback. And those 1-1-3s just keep on going. That E5 here, Playmaker still around. Is gonna focus onto Edgar. Nico here down to a 1-shot. Wonderkind not able to assist all too much. And Ray just taking this one home with a very strong performance. And that just did not work out for them right there with the double trap. Waiting for R-2-K to push on to C. For their 1-1-3s to push in. And they just took advantage of it from all sides. What an incredible way to play on Rockfield. Very strong performance here from Raid. Picking up their second victory here. And another very good damage spread here. R-2-K not able to do all that much. And are now down. Interesting strategy there with those 1-1-3s, that 1-2-1. Not really too much in action, or not too actively involved, as I haven't seen him present all too much. And we see Dani now switched in, as well as Gaseo. Nico and Wonderkind are out. And we have our lineups ready to go into the match number 4 here. Raid so far leading 2-1. And we have from R-2-K double IS4, double E5, double Vickers, and a 1-1-3 from Mo. And we have from Raid 1 IS4. We have 1 E5, 1 Vickers, and again triple 1-1-3s and 1 1-1. Pretty much the exact same lineup, I believe. Messi and F here. Once again, Messi coming out on top. F really not all too well today. Nico here has to be careful not to overextend. Gets S1K here. And those 1-1-3s have been seen. But R-2-K is very split here. If Raid wants to, they could just push onto these 2-1-10 E5s here. Without any issue whatsoever. Gaseo and Nico here spotted once again. They know that someone is around B. They know that someone is in A. They have the tank advantage here. And they are gonna make a push for it. Gaseo here, the first one to get focused. With Nico. But OG here taking some good fire support from R-2-K. But there's just not a lot of... 3 tanks are out of the fight right now. Nico and F here both taking a lot of damage. Raid, of course, dropping a lot of hit points as well. OG here now down to a 1-shot. Blaster, half hit points. But Nico and Gaseo just going down without a fight. 2 tanks out for R-2-K. Money Dude here holding on with dear life against 2 tanks. Messi coming in with support now. Mo getting focused hard. But R-2-K still holding on for dear life somehow. They still have a good amount of hit points left. But Danny there getting picked up by Messi. Money Dude here still alive, will get killed by F. And JP here getting focused next. He's gonna get into cover though. And this is not looking good. It's a 4-on-6 here. And the hit points are bleeding more and more. And Raid is gonna take this one home. Mo here. And Dimebag getting focused. JP though has been picked up by F. And now it's just Zerd. Now it's just F. Versus 5 enemies left. Which, of course, in a random match would be doable. The hit points not all too much here. But this is tournaments. And this is top level tournaments as well. And there's just no way F is going to be able to win this game. Against 4,000 hit points here. No 1-shots, only 2 shots. And some with even more hit points. F now spotted as well. And here comes Messi and everyone else. OG here picking up the kill. And Raid going out 2-0 on Rockfield here. Very, very strong performance on this map. R2K just not able to retaliate whatsoever. And that push, that initial push, even though Raid did drop a lot of hit points, they just lost 2 tanks straight up. That just does not work in the end. When you're 2 tanks down, there's not a lot you can do. And Raid here picking up 2 games in a row, or 3 in fact. Now on to Naval Frontier as the next match. And here, Raid just 1 game away from match point. R2K here. Pretty much in the situation Endgame was in before. Are looking to pick up a victory here against Raid, who are very strong today. Of course, always very strong. But in a very good shape. And R2K so far not having an answer whatsoever. We see Nico back in. And we have 2 Vickers Lights, 2 E5s, 2 Ice 4s, and Zerd in his 268. Against what seems to be double E5, double 113. And double Vickers? With Blaster in an E100. A very interesting tank for a map like this. And let's switch to the scene and see how R2K is gonna try to win back this game. Or try to, in general, pick up another victory here. Donnie and F very aggressively when spotting. And Raid here with a very aggressive push. Danny there taking an opening shot. Hello there, Robin, Giannis, and Tim. Support us here for Raid. And Playmaker and OG here very aggressively. Time back there. Has to be careful. And R2K here already dropping quite some hit points. Nico now in B. Zer taking a shot. And Money Dude here. First one to take damage. 4-8. Where is that E100? He is down here, Blaster. A very interesting location. R-2-K here very down on hit points. JP here taking some more. Trading with F. And points here looking good for R-2-K, but it's just B. R-2-K here trying to relocate with Zerd and Donnie. F here gets tagged by Messi, who is still very healthy, and F now locked down behind this one stone wall. Not able to do much now, other than possibly drop down. So two Vickers now here. Donnie might get double tap. Only takes one though, and Messi gets tagged by Zerd. Donnie here also now retreating. And Zerd, he takes more damage. He has to be careful. Blaster there has an angle on him. And Raid now with 2000 hit points in the lead. Mo here taking his next shot. Gaseo not able to find an angle. Blaster there taking 200. Not sure from who. But Raid is making a move here onto those 3 heavy tanks. And the first target here to focus is Gaseo. Takes a lot of damage here. 1300. Already out. Messi here taking a lot of damage as well. Nico here now very aggressive on those light tanks. Gaseo now down to a one-shot. Might get picked up here by Messi. Mo now getting focused as well. This game is still close. Gaseo now out by Blaster. Mo is out. 2 tanks down for R-2-K. Raid here. Still leading in hit points. The caps don't matter. Donnie here bouncing on Messi. F is out. Money here will get picked up though. And Zerd able to put one into S1K. OG here still full HP as well. Trying to help out Playmaker. Zerd is now out of the fight as well. Playmaker here not able to pick up Dimebag. Will get killed. And this game is going to Raid once again. R-2-K here not able to pick up a fight whatsoever since they lost their first match. And this is very good for R-2-K. For Raid, sorry. Now already on match point. Just need to win one more match and this is over. And that E100 here from Blaster working out really nicely. And this could be the last match of today already. We now see a mouse here from Mo. And a very, very strong performance here from Ray. Now going with 1 E5 here, double E5 actually. Double 113s. Again, Blaster in his E100 and double Vickers. So pretty much the exact same lineup as before. And R-2-K here. Going with double eyes for 1 mouse, Zerd in his 268, 1 E5 and double Vickers. R-2-K now trying to play oversea. Messi here with a very good spot. Spots out the entirety of the heavies from R-2-K. And JP now in a very good spot as well. Is able to shoot anything that crosses. Spots out Donnie as well. Gets spotted in return. Nice opening shot. A and B now capped from Raid. They are gonna go into cap point lead here. They have drawn everything away. Blaster here now in B and JP bouncing that shot from Gaseo. And very early map control here. S1K very aggressively. Money Dude now relocating those 2 Vickers here, saving up the back. And Blaster gets away unharmed. Here comes a small relocation. Money Dude and Playmaker here. Going a bit more to the spawn area. F here now getting very aggressive. And Blaster here going into position as well. And R-2-K slowly creeping forward. They are trying to get that B camp. And the information on the enemy location. Messi here gets spotted, not able to put a shot in. Mo here looking but can't find anyone, and Messi here the first one to take some damage. S1K now takes a big one from Zerd as well. And Gasser here slowly moving forward. Money Dude here trying to back up S1K. And Blaster now in the position of Messi. Might be able to put a big shot in. B now getting capped from Mo. And Zerd here taking a shot. S1K able to put one back into him. And Gasser here takes one. On the move from Money Dude. And Zerd takes another one. Gasser now here with Nico trying to back up Zerd. And this is looking good for R2K, but they are dropping a lot of hit points. Gasser here now very low. Nico has to come in, has the most hit points. Trying to shield for that E5. But the focus fire is not working out for R2K. Zerd now very low. Blaster has been picked up by here comes all of the force from Raid onto those 3 tanks. Zerd and Gasser are out. Just Nico left on this flank. He's not gonna do much against 6 tanks. R2K very slow to react, and Raid here sending everything in this one spot. And R2K taking too long to kill Blaster in his E100. That's all he was there for. Buy them time. And it worked out really well for them. And Raid about to win this by cap points here. Are gonna take C. They have A already under control. And this is just a matter of time. And R2K is gonna lose 1-5 here against Raid in a very quick manner. What a performance here from Raid. Their repositioning and just map reading on point today. Absolutely amazing battles that we've seen today. I am so happy to once again have been able to commentate on these matches. Why did I ready up? And to give you another overview here now, on the brackets we will see on Wednesday Legion fight off against Raid, and the winners bracket, and Endgame versus R2K in the losers bracket. This will be a very interesting lineup to see. And yeah, gonna be following that as well, of course. And I think I'm ready to jump into the post-game chat. Now I'm gonna be joining Jack, aka Wild One's helper, who has been taking up the spot for Satan. So let's see what he has to say about today's matches. Hello there.
Hello, every good name is taken. It's Rolling Stone coming in soon.
I am assuming so.
Yep, that will be nice. Wow. So that was. Oof. I will need to update my I need to update my graphics first.
Yep.
Great. Before I can speak something. Oh my goodness.
Sure. How was your first day as a solo commentator?
I don't know. I was asking my viewers to give me comments. But after the games of EG versus Legion, I didn't see a lot of comments on the chat so far, so I have no idea how I performed today. You can look back and give me some comments, and that would be really appreciated. I really love to hear
Sure.
what I've done really good and what I've not done well. So I appreciate some really good feedback. I love that. I'm getting now now it should be fine. Commentator box, post game screen. Oh, is it updated already?
What do you mean?
All right.
Hello there,
Man.
rolling.
Hello, Rolling Swarm. Hello.
Hey guys.
Hi, Rolling Swarm. How are you?
Oh, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted.
So
You?
am I. That was some
Oh, me
intense
too,
battles.
me too. Me too. I wasn't expecting the games to be. I mean, I wasn't expecting the scoreline to be honest. I was expecting more closer matches, but today, I think the winning teams, they have done a massive job, really. Yeah. So, would you all want to like go from map to map and from the first game?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we should start on Legion Endgame.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I'm old. I can't remember the details. You guys go first, and then I'll bounce off you.
Okay, I think the first game. Let me see.
Bay?
The graphics. Port Bay. Yeah, Port Bay. Egypt. Let me recall. I just need to remember what has happened
To give a
Vineyards.
bit of information back on what happened,
Yeah.
because I still remember. First game, which Legion won, was
Yeah.
basically by picking up Romka really early, as he was
Yeah.
all on his own in his IS4,
Yeah.
and then holding, I think, with Vickers and a 140 for so long that
Yeah.
Endgame had to push in, dropped a lot of hit points thanks to the positioning of Legion with some amazing crossfire, losing
Yeah.
like 2,000 hit points, not able to kill that Vickers, and then just
Right.
completely dropping in the first game.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that was-
really like. Oh, sorry.
No, sorry, no. You go.
Sorry. I really like how Legion make the move with the Vickers and the Object 140s there to decapitate that Romka here, and they also lost a bit hit points for EG trying to go to the Alpha. That's always a risk there because Object 3 and another, I think it's player aiming at that Alpha intensively. So, but I really think that Legion has the better positions than EG on the first game.
Yeah. Do you agree on that?
Yeah, I think the Legion anticipated Endgame's move, like the deletion of hit points on the Vickers, like the double Endgame Vickers quick capping early on. And they did the same thing on when we swapped the spawns and went back in.
Yeah.
You mean on B, right?
Offside.
Sorry, no, I'm getting confused on Vineyards now.
No.
No, it was EG. It was similar. EG going straight into the Bravo at the start, but I think the Ice Force, triple Ice Force, if I remember correctly, and
triple.
they took some hits though. But
Yeah.
then I think what they have done really well for each endgame is that they have correlate avoiding those Ice Force getting surrounded actually. So that gave EG some time. But is it an EG win if I remember correctly? I think so.
Yeah. That game basically what happened. Endgame in the start sent 3 heavies straight or their 3 Ice Force to B.
Yeah.
They capped it, but with quite a bit of loss. But what was surprising to me and what I've just realized when the moment happened is Legion actually also dropped about the same amount of health.
Yeah, true.
Kadolek was then already positioning themselves towards the corner, which is basically one of the most important parts of the map. Orca was still sitting behind, where Object 3 was the game before. And what I found really interesting, and probably the game changer for Endgame, they sent, I think it was Winch in his VKK and Romka in the IS-4 towards C, what looked like a bait as they were driving into 5 tanks, I believe. Then suddenly Karolek and Orca grouped up in the corner, and then all of the rest of the Ice Force came from the city, and then they just grouped up on Legion and basically took that game for free.
Right. Yeah, that's true. What I also noticed as well from the Legion side, I think one of the main reasons why they lost, I think they reacted really quickly in terms of the rotation. They they saw that EG is going to the corner of the Charlie cap, and what they've done really well is they send tanks. But the problem is the heavies on the Charlie cap, though. I think some of them, it was a bit uncoordinated. I think someone just went in straight and got absolutely focused, and they drop a lot of hit points there. That IS-4 on the corner, though, from the Legion, though, held those mediums for some time, but unfortunately, the tanks on the Charlie side, I think it let them down a bit.
Yeah, I think that's because they tried to push in, and that's always the risk if you have heavy tanks. If you push into an enemy that's dug in and ready to receive you, if you don't go initially with like overwhelming force, to get those to clear a gun or two, you start being on the wrong end of a math hammer trade, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Right, so let's move on to Vineyards, the first game. I couldn't exactly remember. Oh, sorry, sorry, Greg.
No. This is the one I was remembering incorrectly before, because this is where it went super south for endgame early on. They had two key mishaps. One was I've got on my stream. I've got the strat sketch up.
Right.
But because they had Endgame had worked from their spawn, they'd sent the two Vickers into A, the Alpha Cup.
Yes, yeah.
They were actually in a great position to not get blind fired from the ruins from the south spawn. However, Legion had sent a Vickers and a Leopard 1 around, like across the river, over the hill, then kind of up wide and got
Wasn't that double Leos?
Yeah, double. They had two Leos and a Vickers, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was double Vickers for Legion, and no, it was EG for double Vickers, and Legion's going for double Leopard 1.
Double Leopard and 1 Vickers. Yeah, and so Legion spotted up the endgame Vickers that wouldn't have been spotted otherwise.
Right.
Did some damage to them while they were just leaving A, and then the rest of Legion, and I think it was one of the endgame Vickers was down to like 147.
That was Caro, like he was less than 200 for the rest of the game.
Oh, which is huge. It's absolutely huge because he just becomes completely can't do anything. And then the other thing was, and this happened in both games, is the IS-4 from Endgame on the outside of the city, because it was he died early when Endgame played from the north spawn, and when you've got less than a one-shot Vickers and you lose one of your heavy tanks, that's it. You're in such a bad way.
Right, and credits to Legion on the first game though on Vineyards, because I think their winning move, in my opinion, is their Vickers setting in to cripple that Ronka in the IS-4, as Roaring Swarm mentioned, on the outskirts of the city, and I think that that rotation there, I think it was crucial, and that gave the Legion the signal to rush into the middle, and in the end, the end game cannot give an answer to that.
What do you think about game 2 on Vineyards? Because I think that was by far the closest in general of that whole matchup.
It went very much down to the wire, and it was the kind of the start of that to and fro dynamic where we saw, like, it wasn't like, because quite typically in tournaments, one team gets a lead and holds onto it until the end.
Yes.
Or you'll have one big swing in momentum where the other team kind of reverses the direction of the gameplay. But actually what we saw a lot of in the Legion Endgame series was like one team would have it, then the other team would have momentum, and it would kind of go back and forth multiple times. And the second time into Vineyards is when we first saw that, because, and this is what surprised me, is Legion were on the back foot and they seized the initiative, and they did the same thing again. They pushed in and they took out the IS-4 in exactly the same spot, but just on the other side.
Yeah, but they bled way too much hit points for.
Yeah, that's why I saw as well.
I mean, they bled a lot of hit points, but they were in a difficult position because
they're very low.
you can like, there's two ways of bleeding hit points. One is very slowly trading poorly over like a period of a minute. The other one is like saying, okay, well, we can trade poorly and be in the same positions we are now, or we can, like, and they had to go, and so we can okay, we cross over this ridgeline, we know we're going to get farmed, but at least then we'll be on the other side of the ridgeline and we have something to work with.
Yeah, the thing was though, they didn't do it successfully. They lost their IS-4 first before
and
the
also the
EG
yes.
IS-4 died. And Choco did
Yeah.
like, I think 4,000 damage, but they still lost.
Oh yeah. And he was using the corpse of the Legion IS-4 as a shield. Yeah, that was pretty good.
I really think that second Vineyards game, pretty much from when they pushed onto the IS-4 and just lost that trade. That was Endgame's game. They were like 2k HP in the lead, I think.
Yeah.
And then they just lost so many for stupid trades or just not penning their shots. It should have been Endgame's win, but it wasn't.
To be honest, yeah, true. That's what I was looking as well. But also, I have to give a little credits to Legion as well. What I think is what they have done really well is their mentality, and also their ability to remain calm and keep their composure. Because as you all said, they don't have a really good solid hit point, and also the cap advantage. I think they got one cap in the end. They were struggling to get it, and I think what the Legion team has done well is that they looked into their corridors, the possible lanes of crossfire, and EG got punished by going into their lanes of crossfire. And it was there when EG lost a lot of hit points, and the game turned back into Legion, which, to be honest, EG could have gotten that in the back.
Yeah, I think it also snowballed for then what happened on Mayan Ruins.
Well, that was again, because that was like they were on the back foot, kind of playing tilt a bit. But I was interested to see that Endgame were kind of pursuing the double 50B strat.
Yeah.
Which is,
I really like that.
I don't get me wrong. I love the 50Bs and I love it when they're used well. But they're so particular, and the issue in the 6.9 meta onwards with the heavy hit points is you've gone from being in a position where 250Bs can almost clear an IS-4 between them to a position where 350Bs might be able to clear one. Like it's
can't
very
even clear an EF5 anymore. That has 2,600 and a 50B does 2.4 with twos. If they pen all their shots, there's no reactive armor, which there's pretty much always.
Yeah. But inherently, I don't think it's the. I mean, I don't think it's that tank. The tank itself, the 50Bs, which are letting the end game down. If you see what they've done in the later games, those double 50Bs, I think they rushed. They took a really short shortcut, and they just rushed just outside of Bravo, and they took immense beating there. And that was when those double 50Bs have been crippled. I mean, they've done really well to start to kill that Vickers. I think that will.
I love that strat.
About that, there was a speci bait with that E5, and they even said it in the room chat. I don't know if you saw it, but one of the Legion guys even said, I don't know what exactly, but it was shout out to the guy who did that strategy with the bait, and he meant it honest, because they baited that Vickers out because that E5 couldn't spot that Vickers on his own. And those 250Bs just clapped. I think it was Snack.
Yeah, that's the great thing about Mayan Ruins is you have the opportunity, like on the kind of like the outside flanks, they kind of like the top, the outside here, to do those really big rotations to get in behind like the TDs or tanks that are like angled up in the city. And this is something, I mean, we have, like, there are lots of different lanes that you can do it in. It doesn't have to be 50Bs, it can be like 3 or 4 E5s, for example. So you can kind of mask it, but you don't spot someone until you come around the corner, because it's the hills prevent you from proxy spotting them. And because they're particularly tanks like the Vickers, you're carrying so much speed when you're doing that flanking maneuver. That by the time you realize that you're coming into a very hostile area, it's too late.
Yeah,
that's true.
I think what lost the first game though was them not being able to kill. I don't know. I think it was Catch the Snake in B. He like made the mouse lose half of his hit points, and that VKK just didn't really do much, and those 50s just got crippled as well.
Well, the VK didn't kill his shot. They didn't defend B, and when the 50Bs rotated back in through the city, they came out sideways on the kind of the middle of that ramp.
Hmm.
And the whole of Legion, or at least what felt like the whole of Legion, because the first 50B that went across got hit for like 1,200.
Yeah,
And that was
that's
like,
what's
yeah,
that
it's
was
like, thank you.
That was the game ender, or the game decider, I think.
Yeah, that's
Because as soon as your 50B gets down to the issue of the 50B is you've got like a great burst damage, but you need to have some kind of resilience in your hit point pool to be able to get it off safely, then come back and reload. So when you get taken down to like a 2-shot, you then lose the ability to use your clip effectively, like and aggressively. You have to wait until someone's not looking before you can peek again in order to fire, because I mean the thing's got no armor.
Exactly.
right.
The second game was a lot
Second game.
different, though.
A lot different.
When they used a Foch, I think, Legion object was it? I think?
Oh yes, Forge,
they-
but he
That was an
got
amazing trap that Endgame did there.
Yes,
I think it
that's
was Nicola with his IS-4 who basically
Yeah.
made all of Legion push through the middle. Then they had like 3 tanks from Endgame coming in, those 50Bs coming in behind Nicola. And what was great, and I remember that, was Catch, I think, got killed by Shoko, who was just able to reload a second clip because Winch was just taken out. And that basically was the game-winning move, that the 50B was able to reload again. Because that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to do 2 clips, not just 1. And that worked out in the end.
I thought like Legion had it in the back. When I look at the head points, it's like no, because what I've seen them doing is they have done really well in terms of the focus fire, but I think that didn't help them in the end, because I think it was because the Force lost so early in the game, and really well done to EG for that bait there. Capturing B, for as I said on the stream, is always a very tough job. You need some assistance on that, and EG exactly did that, and that Force got deleted immediately.
I think it
I
was
was a
Rumka.
bit yeah, I think yeah. And however, for the 50Bs, I think their effectiveness are a bit not that good though, because they're forced to like face the enemy tanks of Legion, and they were forced to like be holding the line. And in double 50Bs, you probably want to actually do lots of flanking action and also rotation. And I don't know about the damage. Remembers on the mid table, but don't get me wrong, I really like the double 50Bs.
They both had just
but,
about 1,200. I checked that actually.
I think it was the what worked on the second one on Mayan runes though, like because Legion, with the Foch, like they did push in on B, and they weren't. I think it was the Honor was in the Foch. Wasn't punished when he peaked on B the first time, but
he
was
wasn't.
the second time. And then and like even if you push in with the hit point advantage, of course, like you know the tanks are all stronger on the front. If you and like Legion had all of their tanks, but they were caught in traffic, all bunched up and surrounded. So you go like target tracking, focus fire. Like Legion were congested. Endgame had them wrapped up. Really, it was a great play. It was a really good play.
But
that's great.
I think it was unintentional, but the 50Bs were able to put their first clip out, and Winch just instantly died afterwards from the Vickers. And that's not the issue though, because 50Bs usually tend to get focused because you don't want him to reload again, which is what happened to Chocolat. And the focus from Legion was fully on that 50Bs, so and they were reloading. So everyone who wasn't, meaning all the other 5 tanks, were just able to slaughter Legion's side, and that just ended it.
Yeah, and sorry. Right. Let's move on to Alpenstadt. It's the final game for them, and what I really like EG doing at first is that they actually do a Maverick trick there, because from that lineup I thought they would be going to Charlie, but instead they went to Alpha though, and sending that Vickers to get Charlie, that gave them a good hit point lead, and Legion didn't have the lead at first. I'm not sure if actually that's the reason why they lost, because they send the tanks which are not good initially on the Alpha side, and probably also what I saw is that EG they try to push in and they lost a lot of HP as well, and they also got a bit careless in terms of losing hit points, and Legion managed to grasp this chance and managed to get back. And I really like that rotation from Bravo from Legion, which is absolutely crucial.
Yeah, because I think Endgame had tried to kind of catch, because Endgame were playing from the South Spawn, if I'm not mistaken.
South
Yeah,
Mm.
and they had tried to kind of catch Legion's the tanks on the north of the map, like under the bridge on the other side. They're trying to catch them out of position.
Yes.
It was because they were up for a bit at the beginning, but then the same thing again. Like Endgame's tanks were kind of all occupying the same part of the map, like quite a small area, and Legion were kind of able to get outside of them and kind of like, okay, we know where all of their tanks are now. We have them kind of under pressure, and you're absolutely spot on that they just bled too much in the crossing.
Yeah, and Legion really make the kind of the rotation well, and they forced the EG to fight a two-front war, and they've done really well on that.
I mean, what I also said before the match in Alpenstadt happened, because I think they took a long time with their tanks, is Alpenstadt is basically like just a on-top map game view. You have your starting area and you expand, you get map control, you take territory.
Right.
That's what Legion did from start to finish. Endgame just got cornered, and as you said, they bled, and then they just couldn't hold on their focus fire, and that ended the game.
That's good. Right, so are we happy with the, with
Yeah.
the discussion? Let's move on.
Let's see. What's the next one? No, I was going to say, like, I'm happy. I'm pretty sure Endgame are pissed off.
Right, the next one of best
Faust.
of 9 is going to be Faust first. R-2-K versus Raid. Actually, it's the first game that R-2-K, the first game R-2-K won, and I think it's the last game that
the
R2K
only
won.
game, yeah.
It's the only game they won, yeah.
And it was by a whisper. Really.
To be honest, I think Raid threw a bit away there, because what I've seen really well from Raid is that they caught those Object 140 and the Vickers of the R2K off guard, and they managed to push in very quickly. And unfortunately, that means they have the map control. But unfortunately, and Raid is holding really well on the middle side. Like they spend a lot of time, the R2K, in taking out those Ice War tanks. And I thought Raid is going to have it, and I have no idea what happened then.
Well, I think this is one of the games that I was in the right places at the right time.
Right.
So I saw Edgar GQ was in the 140, and he just made it was a huge misplay. Like, I mean, R2K, they deserved to lose it, because Edgar GQ pushed. They didn't have information on where the other Vickers was and where one of the T125s was. So the 140 just pushed blind, chasing the damage, and ended up pushing 1 into 3, and that left his Vickers teammate.
F was it, I think.
Yeah, like basically, like it went from being in a situation where you've got 2 high DPM tanks with position that can hold. Like, okay, the enemy's got to push up the ramp. We can fight. Like it'll suck for them. We might not win, but like we'll trade effectively. It went from that to like basically the 140 just being removed instantaneously, and then the other Vickers going, now in a 1 in 3. I've got to go.
He just died like 20 seconds later.
Exactly, because they could just push up with impunity. And then I thought, okay, basically Raid have got the control of the outside, and Raid, because R2K had capped D, Raid had ignored C. They'd gone for control of A and they'd gone for B. But then they moved, and this was a mistake Raid made, is they moved their tanks from B towards A. And so they had most of their tanks controlled in the bottom left. And R2K brought the rest of their forces into B, and then through Raid made some horrible bounces. I mean, not too many, but enough that at the end there were 3 one-shot R2K tanks left on the field. Yeah. And it was Messi in the Vickers that was the last man standing and couldn't kill himself.
Yeah,
that was funny. Like, I found that hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, why is he taking damage? Why 6? And then I went to him and I was like, stop that.
I thought I loved it, because he was like, okay, I clearly can't HE myself to death because my armor profile is too strong. I'm gonna like jump to my death. I didn't do it. It's like, just imagine him being like really like, just
Just to digress though, I see like the Raid taking actually much different team. Like the Money Dude was in Ericsson, now it was in Raid. And OG Project was he from DICE?
Yeah, he was
From your
from
clan?
Nice.
Yeah, I remember that because of the project nickname show.
Well, I think it's really. I mean, like Raid has had probably one of the most stable rosters in tournaments for a very long time. They change maybe
At least two. At least
like
two.
one like every year or like every once in a while, like someone moves out of the team and then they have someone else come in. And so this could be maybe another. And if you look at the Money Dude stats, I mean, he's a good player. Like if you check his 30-day stats, you're like, I can see why Raid are taking this lad on.
Yeah,
You know,
I remember. Oh, I think I worked with the Money Dude before, and I remember he had a lot of ideas and a lot of tactics or strategies, and lots of he remembered a lot of places on different maps as well. I think that helped Raid a bit in terms of improving on what they have at the moment. So. So that could also be the case why Raid is playing really well today, even with some roster changes. Let's go to
The next-
Peter. Do you have any more comments on the first match on Faust?
Not really, no. Other than it was just way too close, and that they should have won that. From the opening move, Edgar and F just dying. R-2-K shouldn't have won that game.
I agree.
I agree. Apologies. I'm sorry, but let's get to the second game and second game of Faust. What I see, think what won Raid the game is their double vicars against the enemy double vicars. They caught Edgar dreaming there, and basically from there,
It was the same. It was no. Sorry, it's me interrupting you. It's I'm sorry, but I mean, it was the same thing again. Like Raid, their vicars were working together as like a perfect. Like if you watch the replay, like probably all of our streams catch it. Like the Raid vicars tanks are moving in unison the whole time.
Yes.
The R-2-K, like one of them was up, like scouting across like the up above D, and the other one was at the bottom of the ramp scouting behind D. And of course, like the Raid vicars were like, okay, there's one enemy vicars there, and they traded math hammer wise 2 shots for 1 for like 3 or 4 shots. And so by the time that the 2-on-2 brawl ensued, Raid had a huge advantage, and they got the early gun, and then they could clear it, and then they got control of the field.
And that was.
What happened meanwhile, though, was they also pushed on their heavies with
not really though. I don't
but they
think
showed
so.
a lot of aggression whilst the vicars
Yeah,
were
they
fighting.
do, but they do it with some patience though. They didn't just go straight in. They just waited a bit. Actually, if you can go back to my stream, actually, that's what they have done. Actually, they didn't push in.
I didn't say they rushed, and I was more they pushed in aggressively while the vicars were still fighting. Like near the end of the fight of the vicars, when I think Edgar was already dead, you could see that all of Raid's heavies just then straight up decided now is the time.
And it was Raid won the 2-on-2 vicars, so they came out of that brawl over D up by 2 guns, and then the 5-on-5 they were like a gun or 2 up there as well. And I mean, like by that point,
they traded better there. Yeah, it's true.
Much better. And then
I lost you. Sorry.
Rockfield is the next one, I think. If we're
Rockfield.
Rockfield was it.
Rockfield. I remember it's the R-2-K is on the north spawn and Raids on the south spawn. Really reminds me of R-2-K's game against I think it was Legion. Again, those E5s rotating back to the spawn again, getting spotted, and Raid got the information and just pushed on the other side, I think. And that's kind of I would say is actually a mistake because Devicus he didn't actually get enough information for R-2-K. They just basically gambled on rushing back to the spawn, and Raid positioned their tanks just to spot those E5s up. And I think the E5's problem is a heavy tank. So if they want to rotate back to the other side, it's going to take them time. And I think Raid they acknowledge that they just read the information well and just make that.
Well, because I saw what I thought was kind of like a turning point in that game was because Raid had the triple
The 113s, yeah.
Yeah, the triple
That-
113s.
Yeah, left.
They left them in their spawn, and
Yeah.
when they spotted R2K were rotating their tanks through their spawn towards C, and Raid were like, okay, they're going that way, we're going to counter push through A. But R2K had left
Two
Dimebag
113s.
and someone else, and they basically the 113s from R2K, one of them lost like 900 hit points in the initial volley without anything.
Quickly.
Like, and then it was like, okay, so they've just lost like 800 to 900 hit points for nothing.
Yeah.
And they can't fire back, and there's 3-2 plus they're going to keep pushing on us, and those raid 113s pushed, deleted the first 113, and then Dimebag was forced to go into B, where he inserted himself into another crossfire, and it was.
That's true. I mean, with 113s, you really want to make sure that tank is moving forward instead of backwards or rotating, because the traverse is what's making 113 down, and that's why that's why clans don't take all 113s. They take a combination of IS4, 113, and the E5.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and the 113 is taken for a specific, like you see it on, for example, Fort Despair. It's taken to go somewhere quickly. Like to get to a corner, you know?
Yeah.
Because it is in a straight line. I mean, the thing can hustle.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, what I think, the 113, I just called it a trap in my stream, because they had their 113s there, and before the raid 113s even started moving, R2K had sent theirs forward with Dimebag and the other. I also can't remember it, and they just pushed in. Whilst Raid was also pushing on the other side. So they lost both trades. They just lost on both flanks. Dimebag had to push down when people were already coming from down below in that one corridor where you can move to B. There was Wonderkind backing up Zerd, but it was just not enough. They just took too long. And they lost that trade by a big margin. I mean, that 113 just left the other alone and to die.
I think this was the first game where it was like a really strong win for Raid.
Yes.
And then on the spawn swap, and this I don't know, like if Raid basically they got it into their head like how they could beat. They kind of sussed out how R2K are playing, because if R2K, you look at their formations are quite loose.
Very spread out. Yeah, that's why.
And Raid
as well. Sorry.
And a Raid. No, it's true. It's a good observation. And Raid on the spawn swap, when Raid were playing from the north spawn, of course they stacked over C. Yeah. And they identified there were two T110E5s from R2K like on the corner, like kind of near the R2K spawn. And Raid had like four heavies pushing in wide deep into the spawn, and then sent like the other two tanks in crossfire. And
that's very important.
And R2K had like I don't even know what their tanks were doing, because they didn't have any farming shots.
Yeah.
I actually remember that game pretty good. They pushed on those E5s, as you said already. I think there was Mo in his FV and an IS4 supporting those E5s. But there was a Vickers in the enemy TD position. There was Zerd at B, and another heavy tank was at A. So they had 3 tanks completely out of the fight, whilst 2 of them just straight up died, and it was just too late. They just didn't react in time.
It's like 6 tanks onto 2 tanks. It's very obvious that those E5s are going to be dead very quickly, even though if you have the reactive armor. That's why for my team, if I were to lead a team, I sometimes emphasize on maintaining a good horizontal straight line instead of having some tanks spearheading the map and then some of them very far behind, because what that allows is that the enemies can just focus the tanks just in front of that formation, and if you maintain a horizontal straight line, and I see it's what Raid sometimes do as well, then it will make the enemy some difficult time to focus the team down. So,
but they took advantage of it. Raid they played it out perfectly. They saw those 2 E5s are alone. They just straight up annihilated them. Then they rotated. They killed off Mo, and I think it was Dimebag in the IS4. I can't remember. And
how
Zerd
sorry.
had struggle in the middle. The
Yeah.
Vickers was doing something else, and it just collapsed from that.
Yeah, as soon as you can get like a 2-gun advantage, it's you
Yes.
have to work quite hard to throw it.
Yeah,
And
that's true. However, though, I also noticed from the hit points, though, R-2-K actually are neck and neck in terms of hit points with Raid. But I mean, they lost 2 tanks, obviously, and then I think R-2-K didn't have a good response to that. What was I supposed to say as well? I think Raid, what they have done well is that they just didn't hesitate in rushing those E5s. I think a lot of teams would have just stopped because they realized that someone's at the back aiming at them, but Raid just went in and without any regrets, and I think that was a good decisive move there.
And if you can do that, like, okay, so if you keep the same hit points, but
Yeah.
if you keep 2 guns in, your effective DPM, because I mean, there's 2
That's
sides.
true.
Like, it's like you can almost get into like you can over formalize it with like you can talk about like DPM, effective DPM, hit point pools, like and hit point pools that are being engaged.
Yes.
Because okay, like we've got the same hit points as you, but we've still got like 7 tanks worth of DPM. So, and if we're moving together, you can never out engage us if we keep pushing onto you from that point. And like you said, like Raid they just didn't stop, and they didn't let R2K catch their breath. Raid were like, just gonna push.
Yeah.
And if we move then on to Naval Frontier,
It just fell down from that.
Yeah, I fell down from that.
I can't remember the first game on Naval Frontier.
I think
Is it R2K on the north side?
What I remember is R2K sending in, I think, Nico into B, but that's all I can
Yes.
remember.
I think.
Sorry.
I think it was another game where both teams had double Vickers, and Raid above C.
Yeah.
It was like they basically.
I remembered. Yeah.
Yeah, because Raid. I think Raid were playing North actually.
North. Yeah, that's the first
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Raid were playing North. They got again like they traded better. They won the Vickers battle up here, like enough that the R2K ones had to pull back, but then. Basically, Raid just collapsed on R2K kind of on the western half of the map, like behind AB.
Yeah, when they pushed in with 4 heavies on 3, I think. That was
because Raid, and this is where the 130, because Raid had double 113s that pushed, and that's what we said. Like you take the 113 to get somewhere quickly. They pushed double 113s into the corner. They had the double T110E5s going shallow, like maybe going up into A, but ended up going round it. They had another tank. Don't know what he did. I think he kind of cheated and came.
It was the E100, I think, wasn't it? With Blaster.
I think the E100 was in the. Did they use it in both games?
Yeah, they used it both games. They had the same lineup.
So the E100 came in between AB, and as the heavies kind of collapsed on this area where R2K were holding, then the Vickers kind of peeled off and they got into like Zerd was in the 268. And they basically then Raid just kind of got R2K in a pocket, and history repeats itself.
Right.
Yeah, but I think R2K initially got a cap lead though. But I think Raid, what they did well is that they actually kind of obtained information by both sides with Vickers, and then I think the heavy tanks on Alpha. And initially I was worried about those double Vickers for Raid because they just trapped themselves going down and then going up back that slope there. Because R2K, if they met, they can just possibly rush that immediately. But I think it took them time, and even not all of them are dead, the Vickers. So, but I think the big mistake from Raids from R2K is that they lost too many hit points at the start, and gradually as well. And Zerd losing a ton of HP in the 2-8 is not helping matters at all. And the heavies heavies on that side on Alpha also losing sometimes a bit of unnecessary hit points, as I said as well.
And then I think on the last game when we swapped the spawns on Naval Frontier, like this was the game that actually impressed me the most. And I don't know whether R2K had like mentally thrown in the towel or if Raid just really had them dialed in. Like Raid were kind of inside the heads of R2K at this point because Raid, like they sent in their Ninja E100 to cap B, which was glorious.
I didn't even see that.
Then the E100 pulled back into like slowly because he eventually died over in the TD bush behind me. Like I mean,
Yes.
like right up against the red line. And Raid like basically moved their forces in, and they pushed. There were
heavy.
three R2K tanks on the corner in their spawn, and Raid pushed in 3 here, and then I guess 3 must have kind of come up in round the back somehow.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And the trade, and this was like it was a smart move by Raid, because they said, okay, we've got an E100 as bait. The E100 was being engaged by 3 tanks. R2K sent 3 tanks to deal with 1 and capped off B.
Yeah.
With the 4th.
Yeah.
R2K lost 3 tanks and gained an E100 and B cap for it. And Raid were like, okay, now we've got a 2-gun advantage over you. Well, have at you. And they again.
Yeah, I think all of the heavy tanks did less than 1,000 damage for R2K, and also the 268 as well, which is
What
it was the
as
rate.
well?
It was the rate at which Raid cleared those 3 heavies from R2K. They died so fast.
Yeah,
so fast. Yeah,
they even blocked each other, I think, because they weren't focus firing. Like they had 3 in front, 3 in the back, as you said.
Yeah.
Zerd was kind of shooting someone else and getting stuck on the corner, and the 2 other heavies also just shot someone else. So not even the focus fire was on at that point.
That's a skill that takes a lot of discipline and work, and I mean, like, it's very easy when you look back at it. I mean, like, to commentate, super easy, but even when you're like playing and you look back at your own replay, you're like, oh my god, what was I doing? But like, never underestimate how effective panic is at messing everything up, because like you're surrounded, you can see your hit points disappearing, your teammates' hit points disappearing. Like it makes people ineffective. And it takes a lot of practice and a lot of discipline to say, like, listen to the call. Someone says, shoot this person, and you don't shoot the person you've aimed up perfectly already. You move, and you shoot the other one instead, and that's hard. That is hard.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I think the double Vickers did a fine job there. I mean, it's a good decision to get those V100s. I think, and also if you look at Sids in the 268, in my opinion, he played too much like somewhat a medium tank, if not a heavy tank, if not a medium tank, and he's forced to like rotate his tank a lot, and that didn't help him at all. And he's like at the front line, I think.
And from what I saw, particularly between Raid and R2K, there's a bit of a meta. People are missing this, and I think Raid have picked up on it. Is that they've worked like the T110E5 and the 268 as well are very soft in the back, and the Vickers has got cracking Hesh or HE, whatever it's got.
HE,
right. Yeah.
And I mean, like, I've seen like a Vickers roll 540 into the back of a heavy. Like, I mean, so like you've got the T110E5 is meta, but it's also like it's got a huge weak spot that can be reliably HE if you can get behind it. Now the Vickers is the perfect tank, and particularly how Raid kept doing it. Like in both instances, this second spawn on Naval Frontier and the second spawn on Rockfield, R2K have got 2 T110E5s almost in a similar position, where they're holding on a corner near the spawn. And Raid engage them frontally with some tanks and send in Vickers with HE into the back.
Yeah.
And it's like our light tank is now doing insane DPM.
True. And like too many tanks in that corner though. Like 3 heavies, I think. If I don't know, but like I don't know. That's a lot of tanks in that corner, and their back are very exposed. I can see as well. And also the mouse down in the ditch, like in the trough, like
I don't even remember what the mouse did.
Elephanting his way in to help the team. Just I wonder what he's thinking at the time. It must be very helpless, I would say.
Oh, I mean, sometimes that's the call. That's what you think you're in that tank to die slowly or to push like into somewhere where you like I don't want to do this, but it seems like we need you to do it. So
they desperately need that mouse.
So looking ahead to Wednesday then. The losers bracket is R2K Endgame.
Endgame versus R2K, and the winners bracket is going to be Legion versus Raid.
So what do you think about Endgame versus R2K? do you have any predictions or any kind of like inclinations either way?
What I think is good is that they haven't played each other yet, not even in the group stage. So the result, for us streamers, is of course great because we haven't seen these matches yet.
Right.
I think R-2-K and Endgame is gonna be the closest. Especially with how both teams performed today. They didn't play bad, but they were just outplayed so hard by RA1D and Legion that it was sad, even sad at some points, seeing how they just lost hit points and just.
I think for me, obviously both teams were not dominated, but comprehensively beaten by their opponents this evening. But I think Endgame gave Legion a much tougher time of it. And I would argue potentially that Legion are the stronger opponent between Legion and RA1D.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I mean, based on this evening's results, I'm leaning towards Endgame to beat R-2-K. It's a best of 9. So maybe I'd expect like a 5-2 or a 5-3 to Endgame for the losers.
I'd go with that, yeah.
Right. For me, I think if I remember correctly, the R-2-K team is still, I think, I mean, the players there have a lot of experience. A lot of them have worked with Zerd before, but still, their team is still relatively newly combined, newly assembled. So, but I think they've got to this stage. It's a really good job for them. But I think what they need to work on is probably their formation in terms of holding and maybe in terms of rotation, they need to work on that. I think EG, as I see a lot of games, EG was very defensive, was pretty defensive and very intensive on getting the cap lead, and I think that's probably what R-2-K cannot register at that moment. So I also would think EG would have an edge over that, but I would say R-2-K would possibly improve quite a bit in here, but I would agree 5-3.
I mean, of course, R2K is, I mean, created. Well, this roster is still being chopped and changed up until the Twister season, more or less.
That's true.
But I mean, this team is like, we're talking weeks to maybe a month and a bit old now.
Yeah.
As it is. So I mean, of course, Endgame is a year plus, maybe 2 years old now, isn't it? So.
I mean, they lost some to Legion, though, if I remember correctly. But I mean, a lot of them have known each other for a long time. I mean, even if they change some players out, I think that's not going to affect them a lot. But R-2-K, they were like on and off at some times, and I mean, this year's spring season, some of them were playing in Vale, so that's going to. I mean, they originally didn't want to go for the spring. I mean, but I mean, so I mean, credits to them getting to this stage pretty far. So yeah.
And then what about, of course, the winners bracket, Legion versus RA1D?
That's gonna be very interesting, especially with what RA1D has shown today.
Yes,
that was just something else.
If you were to ask me before this evening, like, okay, like, what do you think will happen when Legion meet RA1D in this? If they meet each other in this tournament, I would say, like, forget it. Like, Legion are going to walk over RA1D. Based on what I've seen this evening, I take back the comments that I didn't make, and I tell you that, like, I think it's anyone's game because R-2-K are a very strong team. I mean, you know, they're not the strongest at the moment on the EU, but they were very
competent.
RA1D looked good when they won, you know, and I think that if RA1D can deliver the same kind of like individual performances and great calling and strats that they did versus R-2-K this evening versus Legion, they could. I mean, I still lean towards Legion taking the match overall, but I would expect it to go to a tiebreaker potentially.
True.
I could see this going to a tiebreaker too, but for both matches actually.
Okay.
Because both teams, if we talk about the first match with R-2-K and Endgame, both lost map control quite often to their opponents, though EG did it less.
Yes.
Though they more often dropped hit points early on. So that's gonna be more of who drops less and who has more map control.
Yeah.
And for Raid and Legion, I'd say it's more of who can outsmart their opponent. Because both teams showed some incredible plays. Also, like that very early spot with the Vickers and Never Frontier. I don't know, I think it was the second match where one of the Raid lights spotted like all 4 or 5 heavies of R-2-K like instantly from just one spot.
Yeah, that really good spot, like just like on top of a hill where most people don't normally go. Looking out across as they crossed. Beautiful position.
Yeah, and then also the other Vickers who then put in that sneaky shot. That was also so it's tactical in the Legion raid and thinking, and for the other one I would think is just who plays better in the end.
Yeah, for me, I would say Legion versus Raid. It will be more about the late game stages. I think that will be the most crucial part. Is whether they who makes the least mistake in terms of rotation, who is least hesitant. And what I'm very impressed with Raid today is they have actually tightened up their hit points. They didn't lose like in the group stages too many hit points at the start, and then some of the pushes sometimes I would for me it comes across a bit reckless and without getting enough information to make that push, especially if I remember correctly, Raid against EG, that push from Raid onto the EG side from the south over to the north, and the Raid just got pinned down in the trough, and EG just farmed the north. But we didn't see anything like that in Raid today. They are they are decisive as always, which is they should keep on doing that. They are seldom hesitant. I can say that. But what they have done really well today, they've gotten the information much better than before, and I think this is going to going to be a wrestling match between Raid and Legion. Is that the information gathering skills. Legion definitely improved from the Veil's performance I think last week, and again their pushes are much more calculated, and I really what they are really good at is their mentality, and this is going to give them a really good edge. I'm not sure if actually they recruited a sports psychologist, because some of their comeback wins are just absolutely amazing. Like they are in some horrendous situations and they didn't give up, and it just just are very calm and just will get the information for the team and work out the weakness of the enemies. Countless of times Legion did it against EG, and I think that's going to be very important for Legion if they want to best Raid. They need to make sure they don't go on tilt very. They don't go on tilt. Must be. For me, again, I would say it would be a tight call, a tiebreaker. I would say, but don't know. Like two teams, both of them can just snatch it away. But my head says Legion 5-4.
Also, something that we might want to consider but haven't talked about yet is the result of both games, how they influence it, because no matter who wins the winners bracket or who loses, in the fifth game of the pretty much the finals of the losers, what I see from the performance today, they're gonna have an easy time. Like if Legion loses, they're gonna have an easy time in the losers bracket against either
I don't
R-2-K or Endgame. Just from looking of how they played today, or R2.
I would expect Endgame and R2K to rally. So whoever comes out of the losers bracket is the victor, and then goes on to face, like whoever loses between Raid and Legion. I would expect them to be a much tougher opponent at that stage. I don't think.
At that stage, yeah, but from now on, currently, I would say they have an easy time.
I doubt, because they have 4 days, like 4 days to prepare, like from 8th to the 12th. A lot of days to actually spend some good amount of time, hours, maybe just one day, looking at all the past games they have done in today, and also the group stages, and then work out what they have done really well and what they should improve on. And I have faith on like R-2-K's, like they have third, and I think I'm not sure about it's Vice in that team, I don't know, but like they have the personnel to like work out the problems. So I say don't underestimate them at your peril, I would say. And usually like don't forget they've beaten Raid 4-0 at the group stage. They've shown the community how competent they can be with their decisiveness, and I just cannot forget their performance against Lost Control, the decisiveness in EG. So I would say it's not going to be much easier for whoever loses in Legion versus Raid. They still need to maintain the form and not be brought down by the by their performances, the losing performance. I think it's all of them, all 4 of them. They are still in the running, and
Sure.
yeah.
I mean, I don't want to. I agree with what you said, but what I
Yeah.
basically meant was that from even if who loses in the winners, they still gain a massive experience as well, because that's a close match as well. So not just will whoever is in the losers bracket winning will gain experience, but also who loses, even they will still get a ton, because that will be a tough match for either opponent.
Well, that's true.
Anyways, I'm gonna head off. But thank you for an
That's true.
excellent,
Thank you.
excellent chat this
No
evening.
problem.
And,
It's like an
looking-
hour.
Welcome to the wonderful world of streaming tournaments.
Podcast.
Oh my god. Just before you all leave, please. This is my first time streaming Clan Wars, and I'll be really happy and glad to receive some constructive feedback and to see what I should improve the next time. And hopefully Satan's going to be back with me on the 8th, and I will be happy to get some really good feedback for how to improve on. So thank you, and
Oh,
please
well,
donate to Satan.
yeah,
yeah.
the sponsor of the tournament prize will definitely.
Right, that's true.
Cool. Ciao, guys.
Cool.
Catch
Ciao.
you Wednesday.
Chat
Alright.
you on Wednesday as well. Yeah.
See you all on Wednesday then, and have a good
See
night.
you. Good night.
So that was the chat with the lads once again. I know there's not a lot of people watching, but even so, thank you all so much for watching until the end. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you all again next time. Bye bye.